I thought it was just leftovers. I reheated my dinner, ate like I always did, and within hours I was in the emergency room. That's how a 73-year-old patient of mine described the night everything changed. She had no idea that reheating common foods, the ones she trusted her whole life, could trigger food poisoning so severe it nearly killed her, and she's not alone. Every year, more than 420,000 people die worldwide from foodborne illness, according to the World Health Organization. That's almost 500,000 lives cut short. These foods seem harmless, but once cooled and reheated, they can spawn bacteria strong enough to survive the microwave, release compounds that attack the heart and brain, or even generate toxins scientists linked to cancer. And the food industry, they don't warn you, because leftovers keep profits flowing while seniors pay the price. That's why tonight, I'm revealing the 5 common foods you must never reheat. Each one looks safe, but each carries risks that grow deadlier with age. And when we reach number 2, you'll see the study proving one everyday staple can raise your risk of stroke and cancer in just a single reheated meal. Every reference is listed in the description below. Don't take anyone's word blindly. Go see the science for yourself. But before we dive in, I want to know, how old are you? Tell me in the comments. I go through them one by one, because your stories are the heartbeat of these videos. Now, without wasting another second, let's start with food number 5 in our list, and why it becomes one of the most dangerous leftovers for seniors. Number 5. Chicken. Chicken is the most popular meat in the world. It's lean, packed with protein, and often recommended by doctors. But for seniors, reheating chicken can turn this healthy food into a silent poison. The problem isn't just bacteria. It's how protein itself changes under heat. When chicken is cooled, then reheated, its protein structure breaks down differently, making it harder to digest. For older adults with weaker stomach acid, this leads to bloating, nausea, and in some cases, dangerous bacterial infections if the meat wasn't stored perfectly. A study published in the Journal of Food Protection showed that reheating poultry unevenly leaves behind live bacteria like Salmonella and Campylobacter. These aren't just food poisoning bugs, they're killers. In seniors, Salmonella infection carries a 5 times higher risk of hospitalization compared to younger adults. Take Harold, a 73-year-old retired mechanic. He thought he was being smart by microwaving leftover chicken drumsticks. The center was still lukewarm, but he ate them anyway. That night, he collapsed with severe cramps and dehydration so bad he needed IV fluids. His doctor said the uneven reheating allowed bacteria to survive, and his age made him far more vulnerable than his kids who ate the same meal. The science is simple. Chicken is dense, with uneven fibers that don't heat consistently. Microwaves often leave cold spots where bacteria thrive, and once bacteria multiply during cooling, no quick reheat kills them all. Add in seniors' slower immune response, and suddenly a quick dinner becomes a dangerous gamble. It gets worse. Reheating chicken repeatedly raises harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGs. These stiffen arteries and accelerate aging in tissues. One study found high AG intake was linked to a 35% higher risk of heart disease in older adults. So even if bacteria don't hit you immediately, your heart and blood vessels may pay the price over time. Most seniors think chicken is safe if it smells fine. But bacteria don't always announce themselves with a smell, and chemical changes are invisible. That's why food safety experts recommend eating chicken fresh or cold, but never reheating it after the first cooking. Chicken may be the most common leftover in the fridge, but it's also one of the most dangerous when reheated. And the next food on this list is even more deceptive because it looks perfectly safe while silently releasing toxic compounds when it hits the microwave. Number 4. Spinach. Spinach is praised as a superfood, but when it's reheated, it can become a silent threat to seniors. The danger comes from its high nitrate content. Fresh spinach is loaded with nitrates that help widen blood vessels and improve circulation. But once cooked and left to cool, those nitrates begin to transform into nitrates. When reheated, nitrites can convert further into nitrosamines, compounds linked directly to cancer development. The World Health Organization warns that chronic nitrosamine exposure increases gastrointestinal cancer risk by more than 30%, and seniors with weakened immune defenses are far less able to repair that kind of cellular damage. For Harold, 68, reheating spinach was a nightly habit. He'd cook a large batch, keep it in the fridge, and reheat portions during the week. Within months, his doctor noticed his blood pressure spiking unpredictably, and further tests revealed early precancerous changes in his stomach lining. Harold thought spinach was protecting him. Instead, reheating it had turned it into a toxic trigger. A study in food chemistry showed that nitrate-rich vegetables stored for more than 24 hours and then reheated had up to 400% higher nitrate levels compared to freshly cooked ones. For older adults, that means every reheated portion is dosing the body with unstable compounds that inflame arteries, damage DNA, and increase stroke risk. If you love spinach, the safest way is to cook it fresh and eat it immediately. Steaming or lightly sautéing is fine, but never cook large batches to reheat the next day, and never microwave spinach. Rapid reheating spikes nitrate formation even faster. Spinach is proof that even healthy foods can become dangerous when handled wrong. Fresh, it's protective. Reheated, it's toxic. And the vegetable we'll cover next is even worse because it can trigger bacterial overgrowth so powerful that it puts seniors at direct risk of food poisoning every single time. Before we continue, lock in your spot by hitting like and subscribe. The health truth you need is right after this. Number 3. Mushrooms. Mushrooms may look harmless, even healthy, but reheating them can unleash a hidden danger that's especially risky for seniors. The problem lies in their protein structure. Mushrooms are packed with delicate amino acids that break down quickly after cooking. When they're cooled and reheated, those proteins don't rebuild the same way. Instead, they form degraded compounds and oxidized byproducts that strain digestion and can trigger toxic reactions. A study in the International Journal of Food Science showed that reheated mushrooms produced unstable free radicals that increased oxidative stress markers by nearly 50%. For seniors, oxidative stress is no small matter. It accelerates artery damage, weakens immunity, and speeds up brain aging. Think of Robert, 72, who loved making mushroom soup in big batches. He'd reheat it for lunch all week, thinking he was saving time. But soon he noticed constant stomach cramps, unpredictable blood pressure, and waves of fatigue. His doctor traced it back to reheated mushrooms, which had been filling his system with degraded proteins and oxidized toxins every day. What Robert thought was healthy eating was quietly eroding his health. There's another danger: bacteria. Mushrooms are rich in water, and once cooked, they become an ideal breeding ground if stored improperly. Even a few hours at the wrong temperature can allow bacteria like Clostridium or Bacillus to multiply. Reheating doesn't always destroy the toxins they produce, leaving seniors at risk of foodborne illness. For someone over 60 with slower metabolism and weaker immunity, that means a higher chance of severe dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, or hospitalization from something that started as leftovers. The safest way to eat mushrooms is to prepare only what you'll eat fresh. If you must store them, refrigerate immediately below 40 degrees Fahrenheit and eat within 24 hours. But even then, avoid reheating more than once. The longer they sit, the more unstable and riskier they become. Mushrooms remind us that even foods praised for antioxidants can flip into oxidative bombs when reheated. And if you think this is bad, the next food on our list is even more terrifying. Because when reheated, it doesn't just cause oxidative stress, it can poison your blood with compounds proven to damage the heart. Number 2. Potatoes. Potatoes are a dinner staple for millions of seniors, but when reheated, they can turn from comfort food into a dangerous trap. The danger starts with starch. Freshly cooked potatoes contain resistant starch that your body digests slowly, helping regulate blood sugar. But once potatoes cool, the starch structure changes. When they're reheated, these altered starches become harder to digest and can spike blood glucose levels dramatically. The European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that reheated potatoes caused over 40% higher blood sugar spikes compared to fresh ones. For seniors already struggling with insulin resistance, diabetes, or heart disease, those swings increase the risk of stroke, kidney damage, and vascular complications overnight. But there's another hidden risk: botulism. Cooked potatoes left at room temperature, especially wrapped in foil, create a perfect breeding ground for Clostridium botulinum. Reheating may kill the bacteria, but it doesn't always neutralize the deadly toxin it produces. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, warns that botulism toxins attack the nervous system, causing blurred vision, muscle weakness, and in severe cases, respiratory failure. Seniors are particularly vulnerable because their immune defenses and muscle strength are already weaker with age. Take George, 74. He loved baking large trays of potatoes and reheating them during the week. Within months, he noticed dizzy spells, uncontrolled sugar crashes, and stomach cramps after meals. One night, he ended up in the ER after nearly fainting. Tests revealed his blood sugar had plummeted, followed by a dangerous rebound spike, all triggered by his reheated potatoes. What he thought was saving time was silently wrecking his blood sugar and circulation. The safest way for seniors to eat potatoes is fresh and hot, straight after cooking. If leftovers are unavoidable, refrigerate them immediately, store them no longer than 24 hours, and reheat only once to at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. But even then, know this: potatoes lose much of their nutritional value after reheating and carry risks no senior can afford. And as dangerous as potatoes are, the number one food on this list is even worse, because when it's reheated, it can release compounds proven to increase cancer risk and stroke potential all at once. Number 1. Rice. Rice looks innocent. It's the world's most common staple food, eaten by billions every day. But reheated rice is one of the deadliest mistakes seniors can make. The danger doesn't come from the rice itself, but from bacteria hiding inside it. Uncooked rice often contains spores of Bacillus cereus, a bacteria that survives boiling and steaming. When rice cools and sits at room temperature, those spores multiply and release toxins that reheating cannot destroy. The UK Food Standards Agency has documented hundreds of outbreaks traced to reheated rice, many of them severe. For seniors with slower digestion and weaker immunity, this fried rice syndrome can cause rapid food poisoning, vomiting, diarrhea, dehydration, and in some cases even organ damage. But that's not the only risk. Rice is also one of the most arsenic-contaminated foods on Earth. Studies show that reheated rice has up to 60% higher free arsenic levels compared to freshly cooked, because cooling and reheating mobilizes arsenic stored in the grains. Chronic arsenic exposure is linked to heart disease, cancer, and dementia, conditions that already strike seniors harder. The Journal of Environmental Health confirmed that seniors with the highest rice consumption had nearly double the risk of vascular disease, and that risk increases when rice is repeatedly reheated. Imagine Linda, 69, who batch-cooked rice every Sunday and reheated it through the week. She thought it was healthy, low-fat, and easy on her stomach. But within months, she was constantly tired, suffering from gut problems, and her doctor found early kidney damage. What looked like simple rice was silently poisoning her with toxins every time she reheated it. The truth is simple. Rice should only be eaten fresh. If you must store it, refrigerate immediately below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Eat it within 24 hours and never reheat more than once. Anything else is gambling with your health. And that's why rice takes the number one spot. Because while chicken, spinach, mushrooms, and potatoes each carry risks, reheated rice combines bacterial toxins and arsenic exposure, a double hit that can devastate seniors' brains, hearts, and immune systems. If you take away one thing from this video, let it be this: food safety is not optional after 60. The body changes with age. Stomach acid weakens, the immune system slows down, and digestion becomes less efficient. That means bacteria or toxins that a younger person might fight off can put a senior in the hospital within hours. So here are some essential rules you need to live by. First, never leave cooked food sitting on the counter for more than 2 hours. That's not just a suggestion. It's the golden rule of food safety. Studies show that bacteria like Bacillus cereus can multiply to dangerous levels in rice or potatoes in less than 90 minutes at room temperature. The longer food sits out, the greater the risk. Second, always refrigerate leftovers immediately. Don't shove a big pot of stew or soup into the fridge. The center stays warm too long, and bacteria thrive. Instead, divide food into shallow containers so it cools quickly. Rapid cooling slows bacterial growth and locks in nutrients. Third, when reheating, don't settle for lukewarm. The food must reach 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius, all the way through. Seniors often just warm up leftovers until they're comfortable to touch, but that's not enough. Unless you heat it thoroughly, bacteria and toxins can survive. And here's another rule: never reheat food more than once. Every cycle of reheating breaks down nutrients, increases oxidation, and creates the perfect breeding ground for dangerous microbes. Fourth, store food smart. Refrigerators should stay at 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius, or below. Freezers should be at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 18 degrees Celsius. Use labels and dates on containers so you know when something was cooked. As a rule of thumb, most leftovers should be eaten within 24 hours. After 2 days, even refrigerated food can become risky for seniors. And finally, trust your senses. If food smells strange, looks different, or tastes off, throw it out immediately. Don't risk it just because it looks fine. Food poisoning doesn't care how frugal you are. Saving a few dollars is never worth days in the hospital or permanent damage to your heart, brain, or kidneys. So here it is, the shocking truth about the 5 foods you should never reheat: chicken, spinach, mushrooms, potatoes, and rice. Each one hides a danger the industry rarely talks about. Chicken carries bacteria that multiply fast after cooking. Spinach transforms nitrates into cancer-linked nitrosamines. Mushrooms break down into unstable proteins and free radicals. Potatoes can harbor deadly botulism toxins and spike blood sugar unpredictably. And rice, the most dangerous of all, can produce toxins from Bacillus cereus that survive even after reheating. These are not minor issues. For seniors, they can be fatal. But here's the good news: awareness is protection. By learning the science and changing your habits, you can take control of your health. Eat fresh whenever possible. Cook smaller portions so you don't have days of leftovers. Store food quickly, reheat properly, and never reheat more than once. These simple shifts can lower your risk dramatically and add years of strength and independence to your life. Because the truth is, strokes, heart attacks, and memory loss don't just come from genetics. They come from the everyday choices we make in the kitchen. And now you know the hidden dangers. You can avoid them. So let me ask you, what's the one leftover food you can't stop eating, no matter what? Write it in the comments below. I'm reading every single one, and I reply personally because your stories are what drive these videos forward. If this opened your eyes, hit the like button so more seniors see it before it's too late. And subscribe right now because the fight for your health doesn't end here. We've only just started exposing the everyday foods, habits, and hidden dangers that can decide how long and how well you live. If you have any questions or want to share your personal experience, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. We are always listening. Thanks for watching.